Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the T.O.A Podcast. I am your host, Onvermel, here today with the Zach 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 Nicotel.
The Zach, huh? I'm a the, you know. I didn't know I was worthy of a the. I know you are a the, but we are a he.
It depends on the right day. You can be a the rather than a it or a he or a...
I'd be less surprised of an it.
I mean, yes. So crazy.
Far out.
Bruh.
That is so, I tell ya. It's so.
A little so. You know, I'll be honest, I wasn't...
Hey, before we begin, I have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
How do you know if lightning is a positive or negative charge?
I don't know.
After it strikes you, are you going to be optimistic or depressed?
That wasn't a very good... I don't like that one. Maybe in the right situation I would have thought that was funny, but I
my line delivery could have done some work, but that's beside the point. I just want to see you cringe on the inside.
I'm gonna throw that in the trash bin of not remembering.
No, you can rework it for your own little peeps.
I might use it with my coworkers, possibly. I might use it on them. So back to the so. So. You know, the funny thing is, I know there was something I was wanting to talk about. I had in mind for a bit.
I was going to say, so what are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
How
long do you think I can you keep a delay until 30 minutes from?
Hoping to jog your memory until the time runs out. Okay, I see where this is going.
No. The problem is, it also happens when it's just like, I haven't had much time to actually think about what I wanted to talk about.
Well, then I'm going to bring up a point I brought yesterday. It'll take about 2 minutes to stretch out.
And what point is that?
So if you're a builder out there, most people probably know this, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Because, sometimes people give up easy. If you're using an axle connection, especially with like a Liwa finger, an axle connector, and it seems like the connection's loose, just turn the axle or the connector 90 degrees, and quite often than not, it'll fit in stiff.
I completely forgot that you brought that up yesterday.
It was, after hours.
I mean, yeah, that was like closing on like 10:30 to 11, I think.
And you were preoccupied with your Taraga.
I'm also pretty tired right now, so my brain of anything of yesterday is not important information to remember.
You would have been wise to get to me earlier. I was definitely chipper, but then I've been sitting for the last few hours, so I
was in a mood when I got back here, so you wouldn't have... Plus, I had to work on making a judging comic for the Crossword Championship, so...
Oh, yeah, I'm still waiting. I've been waiting on that, haven't I?
Well, you haven't brought it up. I just knew I had to do it, so currently right now. We'll see my computer like...
When I am aware that you haven't done it, it's when I'm doing my regular rounds, which 9 times out of 10, you aren't here during that time. And like most things, once I've moved on, it's out of mind.
Yeah, which is I guess fair. And the worst part of this, just about like I had a brief one. I remembered a topic I was going to bring up, and now it's gone again. I had it there for a second.
It was within his grasp,
and now it's gone.
And he failed to grasp it.
I was saying that about also yesterday with bionicle pieces. Something that's generally shocked me because in our 23 years of having bionicles.
Don't say numbers like that. I'm not ready to accept it.
Fine, let's say 2 decades of having bionicles. How's that sound?
2 is a smaller number than 23.
Our many years of bionicle owning, and when we were younger playing with and such. Let's be honest, we broke our bionicles a lot and built them a lot. Like,
yes,
we didn't like play with them, put them in their cancers, and then we didn't touch them again for years. We played a lot with them.
They got use, especially
and
earlier years.
We're getting thrown down the stairs,
off balconies,
down bunk beds, off balconies, off shelves, across the room against the wall.
That is how I broke Kopaka's arm.
Which is actually what I was going to bring up was, despite all that, we don't actually have that many broken pieces from like our original collection, because
excluding lime sockets.
Yeah, that's excluding sockets, because sockets are their own thing.
I have only broken 3 bionicle limbs.
Okay. Kopaka's arm was
Kopaka's
one.
arm.
A white Borak arm.
Borak's arm.
Was running. They're both white with the gray limbs.
And the last one, it's dubious. It wasn't broken in gameplay, but my Malum, one of his dark red limbs, it was really stiff in the socket just from like dust collecting or something, and I broke the ball off.
In fairness, though, the Malum wasn't you didn't buy him new. You basically got a used one. So
it wasn't I was playing with him and it broke. It was I was just kind of moving his arm and it broke off. But he's also got to keep in mind he's dark red, I think that was of the era where dark red was questionable.
Do you remember when or how you broke your white Borak's limb?
I don't recall when, but I don't think it was too long after I got it. I remember Kopaka. He was flung into the movie shelf, and yeah, his arm broke. I don't know what happened to the white Borax, though I imagine it had something to do with probably trying to take the arm off and it broke. I'm actually leaning to think that gray, light gray as a color, is a bit more brittle than others. Like, I'm actually surprised how easy it is to snap a ball off a bionicle limb. When you think of the axles, you try to break one of those, they don't break, they just bend.
Well, actually, because of last night, I was wanting to get some baby blue balls for Makama and Traga, and breaking off the ball and axle part to like a toe limb was a very easy way. I couldn't find a knife, so I took your advice and just snapped them off. And out of the 3 I had, so that's 6 balls, 5 of them broke off at the base of it, like perfectly, and then 1 broke in the middle, which is something that I find interesting because both your gray limbs that you broke, I believe I almost had clean breaks.
They were perfect. They are the perfect ball to use in a mock if you need a too long axle because it's not going to come out.
But it's like they were clean breaks, right?
Yeah.
Now I had 3 limbs that I broke. I broke both of my Poitou's ankles. The poor guy, both his ankles, and Tahu's wrist. Also his only wrist because that was another limb. So basically 3 total limbs, all in the exact same part. But the funny thing about mine is all 3 of mine broke halfway down the axle. Which, on one hand, if you grab a bushing and a bit of sticky tack, you can actually piece it back together because the length of it is a bushing. But the annoying, and if you do, for at least a little while, I just had regular balls attached to underneath it for Poitou. Yeah. But it's interesting because, from what I remember, at least, I don't remember how all of them were broken. I think one just broke while I was, playing with Poitou or whatever. But I know one out of, I believe my second Poitou one, or my Tahu one, but I think it was my Poitou one, broke. I know it was my other Poitou's ankle broke while I was building the T.O.A Keita. So it's I think Tahu's wrist broke while I was playing with him. So 2 broke just while I was playing, and 1 broke while I was breaking and building. And yet all of mine broke at the exact same midway point, which all made it just a little bit more while yours both broke at a nice clean break. So
it made the balls themselves more useful, but it left no room for Kopaka. Kopaka's arm had to be flipped around completely. I've actually been tempted to give my Kopaka his old arm back, except I had acquired a broken one in a bunch of loose Lego somewhere, so I don't know which is his original arm. And I have no idea what happened to the balls. I think Gerard
had one in the X-Scroll's head.
Yeah, I think our brother Ek has one in the X-Scroll's head, which makes me think maybe my guy of the similar build has it on his head.
Yeah, and it's if I'm correct, those are the only 5 pieces that we broke, from our childhood collection that we basically got new, that later on we both had as in a socket.
Yeah, just the 2, the white Bork and...
Because we never broke, because
the Korak, I guess I could say.
Which, there's one thing to be said, they're all from the first, couple of years, where basically, first off, the axle part underneath the ball is a full stud length.
I have acquired Metru parts that have been broken off.
Oh, we've acquired a bunch of parts. And
I've never... the only Metru part I have broken is the axle connector to Matau's shoulder armor, which was annoying, but thankfully it has
the pin
connection, so it's basically the leg armor, but with added stuff on top, so it still can attach via a pin.
Yeah. But it is interesting, because, even with stuff we've gone in a bunch of pieces, I think I have gone a broken one Mata leg, and several black, or T.O.A-like armor Vaki arms. For a reason, in used launch, the most common broken piece I've gone is, the sword arm, the Vaki arm.
You know, that's interesting. Well, I got a second light gray one of all things. Just matching the one I already broke. That's the only one I've ever gone. Like, I've gone broken. I don't want to say Roxy legs, but I think I have like a dark red Roxy legs broken. I know I have broken Metru.
Roxy upper legs, I know we've gone a couple broken.
I've gone
in all of our stuff.
I got 2 black Metru butts that had 1 ball broken off, and because of that I used it on orange and black's rebuild. I think I might even have a third.
Well, let's be honest. The most common
Vaki legs, I have a broken 1 or 2.
They were broken Vaki leg?
That's what Malum has. He's got Vaki legs. It's broken. I know I have more Vaki legs. I'm pretty sure that's why one guy has a peg leg from the Rebels, is because he has a broken ball.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that does kind of sound a little familiar. See, when I say it, like, I think anyone who's gone to use bionicle lots, I think we all agree the most common broken piece is, like, soft weapons with their axle bits.
Yep.
Specifically, like, scroll weapons, I seem to be a pretty common one of having a broken one.
I don't have scroll on that list, but I definitely have
Stars
hero
armor.
Effect. Yeah, I have a Stars armor.
I think I have a couple Vaki weapons that don't have the axle. And I have like several of one where like the axle's been completely like twisted. Like I have 2 of the exact same one. I don't remember what it is. Weirdly enough, I don't actually have that many Borak shields with a broken axle. I think the only one I had was one of ours that we had from like.
I think I have a blue Borak that has a broken axle. I actually question if the axle broke or if I broke it off.
I remember it being like really close to breaking, and then you just kind of went finish the job, you know. Especially having a centered hole, you can fix it pretty easily. Now, the thing about these broken pieces is, weirdly enough, they become quite useful at times.
They can be useful. Sometimes it's like, just the thing you need.
As I said specifically, I broke some to have unique colored balls.
Yes.
Which, don't get me wrong.
With better connections.
But this is only specifically because I'm trying to make T.O.A with the T.O.A arms, but have ball connections at the end, so you can have like a hand and arm to keep that like aesthetic of the T.O.A and more of a spindly build. And so, you want to make a baby blue arm, and it's like, well, due to what other colors the T.O.A was, it's like, there's really no good colors. And look, baby blue's right there. And like, it's one of those things where it's like, breaking parts. Back in the day, I might have been like, it's not worth it, I'm not going to do it.
Blasphemy, that's what it would have been.
I have so many parts, and specifically, these are like a dime a dozen parts. Galley limbs, like, they're not hard to get.
They're not in high demand.
Or Borak limbs in Babe Blue, not hard to get. So it's like, but this is kind of nice that is an option to do, because like, let's be honest, just going with Borak limbs, like Throwbot limbs or all that, like you can get like pretty much any color ball you really want in that. You can get purple if you wanted. Heavens to Betsy, I would never break a purple Throwbot arm to get those balls out of there, but you could. You could.
And you can at least get the new purple, so you don't really need.
You could break a couple yellow from Bill's wings to get a couple yellow ones if you did that for T.O.A. And that's the question is, like, I keep my T.O.A in this general design, so I'm like, if I wanted to make more T.O.A, this does open up a lot of possibilities. Like, obviously, like something like lime, don't really need to, but if you wanted normal green limbs, you could do that.
Of course,
you have that option.
You gotta be careful not to overdo it. The next thing you'll be like, I'm short a few limbs.
And that's the thing. It's like, even just...
How many can I get away with?
Every time I learned a new way I can get, like, a unique color or something, the back of my head goes, what else can I do? Because as you were mentioning yesterday when we were talking about spray painting, you were just like...
Now that you got a green spray paint that's pretty much a near perfect match for the Lego dark green, it's been... This is perfect. What else can I paint?
It opens up the possibilities. And I know Ek and I have talked in previous podcasts about this when we first started getting spray paint as an option when we were younger. It was, hey, I can finally get like a black one of this mask. Or, ooh, I can make a black pair of this. Like, just the fun of spray painting was
honestly,
fun.
Because you have that dark green paint, I kind of just want to get a copy of all the Metru masks. Some be easier than others. And just spray paint one of each version in the dark green.
One I do want to do, that I am going to do, is I do want to do specifically make spray paint a dark green Ruru. Just because Umbra didn't have a dark green, just the idea of a dark green one in my head has always been floating in my head. So there's only the one I specifically... I mean, even if a camel would look really cool in dark green, I think.
Umbra with a dark green Ruru. Like, I don't actually recall him having a lot of black other than that mask.
Well, he's got his tires, he's got his hands, he's got his pistons have the black. Like,
okay, yeah.
He's got a decent amount.
He's got, like, the standard,
but
just
you could
small...
easily cut out his black. Like
tires,
so if
whatever.
I ever made a custom Umbra, which I've been debating doing, I would totally spray paint a dark green mask for him. Okay,
I don't know if we really delved into this at any point, because my memory doesn't really care that much. But the Voyanui Matorn really missed the mark. Because they already had the mold, and they did it with the Metru Matorn, and technically even the Tohunga. They really should have swapped the masks around so we got different colors. I would say Garen and Velika just swapped their colors because they all had the same build.
Dark green and dark red swap.
Like, I think Kazi should have had, be just due to his build, probably should have had the
Actually, I would
Mihiki.
say this. And this is only with hindsight, Velika with a Nuju's mask. I think Velika's character with the scope would work well.
But obviously, that's more of a hindsight 2020. But just because him and Garen...
even with his rhyming kind of parable kind of talking.
Just because he's the same style as Garen, let's just flip their mask for the sake of, well, let's be honest, then,
I have a theory why they didn't.
Cheaper?
Well, no, because you could think it'd be just as simple as moving the molds into different plastic ones, right?
Yeah.
What joint gets the trans?
Maybe you would have to make it trans.
You would have to completely, it would look weird solid, or you would have completely... I mean, they already did change the trans color, but I'm wondering if that's just the plastic that all trans dark blue is starting to look
as I was saying, I think the Mihiki should have gone to Kazi just due to his build. I think that would have been one of the... Because I built a Kazi in green, and that was the mask I used, so I think that one would work with how he's built. But I think the one I put the Rao on, the Koma... Yeah, the Rao. I would have put the Rao on, I believe it's Balta. Because I think he would have worked best with the mask given a shape, because he's kind of like
the soft
Gavla,
red.
and trans red would not have been out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, really,
certainly not trans brown.
Any of the colors are very doable if you just go by the Vaki eyes.
And or maybe if the Lego companies stick we're not going to make another trans mask, keep the blue but change everyone else's.
Which is weird because technically the blue does have a different shade of blue than what No Kama had. So technically this already.
So technically that's the only one that's different. But they really changed. And then you think about Umbra also having the Ruru.
Umbra specifically,
and being a Titan, it's like...
Well, people's biggest complaint with Umbra was that he doesn't have unique parts.
Which, fair, I guess, but it's not like he's the only set to be that way.
Outside of him and the Matorn, that's it. Pretty much every other set up until that point either had a unique weapon or mask. Borgvar are the exception, but they have unique...
Some of the earlier Titans, like Rudak and Sidorak, they didn't have masks, but they did have set exclusives.
But the Technic, Dark Red and Sidorak, some of those Technic pieces, I'm pretty sure...
I believe the Throwbot Foot... the Throwbot Foot actually comes in very few sets, surprisingly.
But with them, you would think something like Rudaka does not much, but I think at that point the trans-orange robot hands, the glow-in-the-dark tooth... I think both of those are... But even so,
those are almost... The piece with Rudak that's really, significant is the silver rock.
Whenever there was something new parts for stuff, it was usually masks and weapons. But specifically, you look at Umbra compared to, let's say, Vezon, Brutaka, and Axon. They all had new masks. Fenrir had a new head. Axon and Brutaka had new weapons. Vezon, Fenrir... Particularly Vezon, Fenrir, you could start getting to have the new...
Umbra could have been like the Lezvik of the... Rather than creating a new mold for yet another set...
They definitely did a new mold, I don't think.
And a dark green Ruru, or even a Yelch, Keytorn... No, Keytorns probably would have been too much.
The dark green Ruru would
Dark green would have been the good option. It's it would have been a simple, no new molds, but a nice recoloring. Granted, that would probably put him through the roof nowadays.
Nowadays...
I don't think he's...
he's still decently expensive, because he's not common.
Yes, but he'd be more if he had something unique to his set.
Yeah. But it's...
Like, for some reason, Voinui, when they had all these returning molds, none of them were recolored. And it's just like, why?
I mean, for...
The Matoran I can sort of see, but like, Umbra really, like, if you weren't going to do the Matoran, at least do Umbra. And especially since they came out the same year.
Yeah, definitely, I would say one of the biggest missed opportunities.
And then the very next year, well, we only have 2 Matoran, which real confused there. Though they did kind of like they actually, I don't know who was reviewing this, but someone was saying that the year they did the Koli Matoran was the one year that they never did all 6 elements. That's actually incorrect. It's
Mari.
The Mari. Because even if you put the Karzani Matoran in there, you're still missing 2 elements.
Yeah.
Because annoyingly, the Karzani Matoran are the same elements as the Hydruka. Hail Hydruka. But they even had in the story a black one.
I'm really not surprised about that one. But at least, when it comes down to, at least with Umbra, if we want to make an update one, we have a green spray paint option. And I still want to be able to find a nice, good dark blue, like, specifically, because dark blue and, like, dark red, I feel like we've had a color match for dark red once.
We did.
Because really, in our early, like, 2002, when we...
Before we were painting.
Let me paint you a picture, for the viewers, that, also around 2002, 2003, mass sets have kind of... We've gone all that we had, right? We're not going to probably get more. You might come across one more or something, right?
I feel like for the amount of mass sets we got a significant number of copies of set.
Let me finish my story. You insane fuel. Alright, painting my picture of a tale from Paul. You have all these, assets that we got, right? We're not getting any more, and... Pretty much no one has a full set. We have extra ones, and specifically extra of, like, the standard T.O.A masks, which, on one hand, is kind of annoying.
As an adult, it's great.
But, with how this is going to go, we had, like, our dad always had, like, nice bits of, like, a lot of variety of paint colors.
Paints, yeah.
Now, and the best one we ever did, we did paint a How yellow, I believe, for me, and it was spot on.
It's kind of a shame
because our oldest brother, How 1, go figure, had the original Jiao Gaka bird, and we compared the 2 masks, and I don't know if it was just my younger brain, but I could not tell the difference.
I do remember it being a very good yellow.
It was not only a really good color match, but also the paint job that my dad did was pristine. So, first off, well done.
And
but the only other one that we've had a perfect color match, kind of, was you had painted a Miru red.
No, you're forgetting also dark green. We had the dark green. Because my Kakama...
right.
The dark green is actually pretty close. Not as good as your spray paint, but it is, like...
Very close.
Very close.
Because we wanted... You wanted the green for your Liwan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think did Gerard originally have the green, the red, Miru for his tower?
I think he did the Miru for tower.
But the thing is, both of these colors were noticeably darker than the actual sets. And now, don't get me wrong, at this point, it was before Metro Nui.
And then...
Do you know what I wonder is, if, let's say, we didn't infect them, just for a year, by the time Metro Nui rolled around, would we have infected them if we noticed the color match with Metro Nui?
I don't think we would have, because I remember using it in mocks because it matched the color. Sure,
don't get me... I'll say this though, that dark green painted Kakama,
Oh, it is on my Tarkava, because the turquoise one been always...
No, the thing is, we tried, I think, infecting, 4 masks in total. We had a How with black spots. We also had the Kakama.
The Miru.
And I believe, for a brief time, there was an Akaku that had, No, we had another. We had no Kamas.
Yeah, we had a...
So we had, infected up to 5 masks of paint. None of them...
Interesting thing, I own... The Kakama was mine. I acquired the Miru, and I think I'm the one who infected the Miru. I infected the Rao, and I at least own and acquired the infected Akaku. So I don't know if that was originally, but...
The How I know is not in our possession anymore.
The Akaku, I don't think was infected so much as it was painted black, but then we scraped off chunks of it to give it an effect look.
I remember that we had a little bit of like green, like a sparkly green paint that was more tealish.
That was on my RAW, and that one it didn't look great because of that.
I thought we tried it on the cockatoo. I could be wrong though.
I mean,
but the RAW, I'm like, it's honestly painted black on someone.
I do have a picture of someone who does have the infected kaku, so
it is maybe it does. It's weird how you managed to get like all of them.
I have all but the How.
So it's like the How's not in the family anymore.
Oh, I thought
my dear friend Ian.
Oh, I know who would have it if you know quite. I just thought that was one that got painted yellow for some reason.
No, it was just a solid black one that got painted, or solid red one that got painted yellow. I have that one because I scraped it all off to get to.
I know you have that one, but I thought that had been painted, infected, and then yellowed.
No, that means we had at least 2 Hows extra.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know we had at least 2 mirrors extra. Because I know Daniel or Michael always had like an extra green mirror going around. Yeah, we've painted a lot more masks in the back in the day than I remember.
But yeah, that dark red and dark green, I would say the dark green is slightly closer, but like
the dark
red it's close enough where you aren't bothered.
Unless you're looking underneath a nice white light like close up to you, you're not going to notice. Sadly, it never really got a chance to shine because you infected it. And
I do recall having
sides of the mouth
having some past regrets about the painting of these masks. Like, oh, this color would have been a great match.
It kind of looks nice though, for the sole fact of because it's got a bit of green paint going on. It does look more sickly. So, as an like infected person rather than like a dirty mask, like for like that sort of way of looking infected, it did have a nice look for that. And honestly, the mirror itself, infected, just has a cool look.
So. I'm just going to go back a couple steps here.
How many steps are we going back?
Back to Mari Nui.
Is this like going back steps where you flip it over, fall down, and die?
I've got a couple things about Mari Nui.
Okay,
I like to say.
Okay.
Number one, once again, we get T.O.A Vakama's mask in red. This is the third set with it. And all 3 of the other Matoran have recolored masks from the Metro era, except this one. He's got the same red. Whatever, we got the special room.
I was going to say, in Kurzani's case, one of them Matoran special and one not. I agree.
It's excusable. It's kind of annoying just like because the other 2 also have recolors. And this is my next point. The colors they gave... It's been a while since I've had to use their names. Dakar and Defilic. Defilic has a green Mask of Quick Travel, which is the same mask Iruni has. Well, Iruni has gold. Iruni is still green.
That, it does annoy me.
And Dakar has Key Torn.
They should have swapped the masks.
And Dakar's has a silver option, which is very versatile, and a red option. Key Torn limits to like a Tahu or a fire or earthy kind of element. If they had made that one the green, then it really gives a broader perspective.
Defilic and Dakar's around.
It would have really broadened their use.
I understand why they went for those 2 masks. Makes perfect sense. You know, you're making 2 Matoran. These aren't overused masks.
I have no problem with the choice of masks.
If they made Dakar green and Defilic...
Don't get me wrong, Key Torn is still a different color, but when you think about it, it's like, Key Torn kind of falls in the same as the red, and the silver is the most versatile.
It's specific. Well, if you're looking at like
and Defilic, okay, you want to make a custom character with the green mask. It kind of just looks like a greener Iruni. I will admit
that specifically Defilic does bother me because
I like the green more than the gold.
The thing is like, oh, you want to make a T.O.A with this? Oh,
Iruni's already a green T.O.A with this. It's the same problem with making a green T.O.A with the Mask of Levitation. It just makes you feel Leo. Even if this is a green T.O.A with a green quick travel, it's still like it's quick travel. But if you had swapped it around, then it would have put quick travel. You could have had a mask of quick travel that felt more earthy or fiery, and then the Defilic mask you could get one that actually felt more planty.
I mean, at least though it is that they are gold and green are different enough. It's
like at least they are different color, and like gold pretty versatile if you want to like have gold armor highlights opposed to being.
Or you make someone black and gold, like Defron, or you make a T.O.A of... I'm amazed none of us have made a T.O.A of Psionic with that mask yet.
I think it's because we've never had the spare mask at the time, but that is a very good point.
2 or 3.
I have a T.O.A Psionic who's got light and dark gold on her. The
problem is, I think when we make T.O.A Psionic, we usually want to use the T.O.A masks, Because, let's be honest...
I think the problem is we try to use light gold.
See, I'd prefer to make dark. The thing is,
I only have
it's weird.
one
Despite
dark
gold having a bunch of masks of variety, X original Toa Sonic, it had a trans blue Rao like from No Kama. Mine had a trans blue Cow from Galley.
Mine had a trans blue Ruru.
So, what?
However,
we all gave our. I don't think that was intentional.
However, mine now has since acquired a gold How, the Lecon How.
Mine now has a gold visor. And
I would say this is the thing with the Iruni mask, which now I want to make a Toa of Psionic with this mask for the sake of this could do it. But the reason I think we haven't used this, I personally have not had this spare mask, and thinking about it, I have 3 Toa of Psionic off the top of my head.
I have 1.
There's the first one, which we said with the Ruru, which then got a gold How. There's another one who initially had the gold How, who has light and dark gold mix, but it's mostly dark gold. But then there's the last one who has the stars light gold How. But the thing is, that one's light gold, and light gold has a larger variety of parts to use.
You're forgetting about Toa Sonic. Or Psionic.
Yours.
Yeah, you made my character.
Which has a gold. I was going to say gold cow, but I'm not actually. I wasn't certain if I used that.
It is kind of weird that we all went for a trans one for our Psionic.
I'm going to say because at the time we didn't have.
Yeah, no, we definitely didn't have any extra
gold. Because honestly, those are among all of our earliest ones.
Yeah, we all made a Toa Psionic in our first
Which
Toa
is funny,
team.
because I actually did get an Iruni.
Well, okay, I wasn't on my first Toa team, but it was my Toa expansion
team.
But
when I made that Toa team, I bought specifically from our brother, the Lost Toa, who had a huge collection of bionicles he had collected. I got an Iruni for the green parts and the gold armor to make said Psionic. So I clearly had I painted my mask black. I remember that now. I have no idea what happened to that mask. I don't know if you got off me.
I believe Ek has it now.
Okay.
So I'd gone it, and then I traded to Ek, and it's on. I don't know if he's on using anyone. Yeah, man, if I could just find a nice dark blue paint, though. Oh.
I would love to do this, but I literally used all the last of my gold armor on a How person.
Fine. I'll do it myself. That's that thing part is, my dark blue supply is actually really thin, so I don't know if I could.
My dark blue's fine. It's the dark gold. But which is really unfortunate.
I have a lot of shoulder armor.
Because thanks to soccer balls, I'm getting some masks. I'm like, I want to make another Toa team. Preferably with, different colors of masks. Like, I'm going to have a trans red Rao. I'm going to have a black Mahiki. So I had to think if this Mahiki or Matatu.
Mahiki, no, that's
correct. Mahiki. And then, the Iruni's mask would fit right in with the Metrus. So I could use that gold one. And then I want to work in a silver Fire Lord helmet, just because you said it looks kind of like Hookie's mask in non-organic form.
I did say that, yes.
I just wish I could get that to go over a Mechu head. It will fit over, but the piece you would need to attach it would have to be a pinhole attached to a axle saw. Basically.
A piece that does not exist that we all want.
No, I don't even think because a Nokama hand would basically be what I need, but
shorter.
It'd have to. It basically just couldn't exist. The piece just can't exist.
Yeah, but that is the 33-minute mark. Technically, pass over the mark. You get something passionate about when we get past that 30 minute. Rather than going, you still got more time to go. Let's drag it out.
That's true. I haven't felt like I've been like, how much longer are we going to be here? No, we're just having.
I got to the point. It's funny. I was talking about like broken pieces and spray paint, and then talking about like just mass variation. Nice little organic.
Well rounded. I don't think this mass variation necessarily could have held off entire conversation.
See, now I remember what the original topic for the podcast is going to be. I'll remember this for next time.
Well, why don't you say it out loud so maybe in case you forget again.
I was going to go complain about the Unica masks and just jump off that point. But anyways, this has been the T.O.A Podcast. I have been your host, Onvermel, and we are retiring from the night.
Yeah, I've got